Nike stock is down over 17% in the last month and is down especially since the company reported its latest quarterly earnings results that were a disappointment. Now, that's especially unfortunate because I know some popular YouTubers were very high on Nike stock, recommending Nike stock as one of the best stocks to buy. And I disagreed. I've downgraded Nike stock, in fact, to start 2025. I told investors not to buy Nike stock. I didn't like the direction the company was heading, and the headwinds I felt were really strong compared to the valuations. I didn't think the valuation had come down enough to account for the company's current headwinds, which were started by the previous CEO, to be fair. So in this video, I wanted to dig deeper into Nike stock, see the latest developments, and see the strategy from the current CEO and how he's planning on dealing with the current headwinds and discussing what's going on here with Nike stock.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So in the most recent quarterly earnings call transcript, the CEO said that the last 90 days only reinforced my early assessment of the areas that are most important to Nike. Since our last call, I continue to meet with wholesale partners to discuss the distinct role each can play with Nike. And I was happy to hear this. When I opened up this file, starting to evaluate Nike's conference call transcript, one of the big things I was looking for was how they will address the discontinued relationship or the hurt relationship between Nike and its wholesalers. If you didn't already know, the previous CEO, one of his main strategies was to focus less with wholesale partners, to send them less inventory, to deprioritize them in the overall strategy. And the thinking behind that was, hey, Nike, the brand, it's the strongest apparel brand in the world. We can connect direct to consumers with our physical stores and our website and app, and we don't need wholesalers as much as we previously did in this new digital age. And it turns out he was wrong. It played out poorly in that when Nike took a step away from its wholesale partners like Foot Locker and others, that created an opening, right? That was space that Nike previously occupied. And those wholesale partners had to fill that space. And Nike's competitors were happy to come in. They were happy to come in and take up that space, that shelf space that Nike previously had. And they gained significant traction as a result of that. And now the former CEO was forced out and the new CEO is coming in, and of course realizing that strategy didn't work well, and now is working on rebuilding those relationships with wholesalers, which is what I wanted to see now that it was evident that strategy did not work out. So one of the other things Nike's focusing on is to accelerate a complete product portfolio to create a more breadth and depth season after season, and less focus on very popular brands, less focus on big selling shoes and releasing older generations of shoes, and really trying to capitalize too much on those popular brands like, these popular Jordans or certain shoes that are known to sell out. Nike keeps releasing them and focusing so much on those core shoes or core products to make up so much of the company's sales. Now they want to spread that out a little more. They don't want to be so focused on a few core brands. And this, it remains to be seen whether this will be a successful strategy to not focus and to dissipate the focus across the brand rather than on a few products. When you zoom out and you look at Nike's business, they're decades of relationships with consumers. And even though they damaged their partnerships with wholesalers, they still have a strong presence with many wholesalers, distributing partners worldwide, and their manufacturing facilities allow for the company to have a broader portfolio. So by doing this, they can capitalize on some of the competitive advantages they've built over decades. And theoretically, it could work. It sounds like it could work, but it remains to be seen. So this is something that I'll be keeping a close eye on to see the early results, to see if consumers are responding to this strategy from Nike, or if consumers would just want Nike to, keep making those really popular shoes and make them available more broadly and not make them so scarce. We'll see which strategy wins out here. Nike will also focus on elevating and growing the marketplace. It's a balanced approach where they're supporting wholesale partners to drive healthy growth and returning Nike direct to a premium destination. And I think they're going to need to do some extra work in this category. Wholesalers are going to be upset with Nike for the damage in the relationship. It wasn't the wholesalers' fault. It was all on Nike stepping away from them. And so Nike's going to need to now convince them that Nike's here to stay, that Nike wants to be a valuable partner. And so Nike needs to do some extra things, like maybe instead of just sending these wholesale partners shoes, maybe they also send them a nice display where it's like Michael Jordan, a full size model of Michael Jordan cardboard cutout next to some nice display with Michael Jordan shoes, etc., etc. They need to do more for these wholesale partners to make up for that damaged relationship, for wholesalers to trust Nike again, to give Nike that shelf space where they've now developed relationships with other partners that are working well for some of these wholesalers. They're going to be hesitant to allow Nike to step back in and occupy the space they previously occupied. So on the surface, I'm liking what the CEO is working on here. It's still early days. We haven't seen enough results here. And I will reiterate that I don't think Nike stock is a buy here, even after this drop. I think we need to see more information from the company's new strategy, and we need to see either improvement in the company's performance, or if the company's performance is not going to improve quickly, then we need to see a lower stock price in the 50s in order for me to recommend as a buy. Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.